Now that I've spent some time with these knives, it's time for a review. A little backstory about these knives. These knives were designed and created by Michelle Gould of Stab Rabbit Knives. Now, these handles, the manufacturer, the assembly is all done by Michelle. These particular blades that I have are both Helvie blades, as you can see. Okay. So they're Helvie blades. She has a connection so she can get the blanks, and then she makes the handles while she is learning the arts and skills to make her own blades. And once they're good enough, they'll be on the market as well, and we'll have another knife manufacturer. Before me, you'll see the two knives I received from Stab Rabbit, aka Michelle Gould, out of Maine. These are beautiful works of art. So I wanted to start talking about Michelle herself and then move a little into the knife. So just quickly, Michelle is a up-and-coming knife maker who is working under John Dunkel, learning the arts. Currently, she is not selling her own blades, but she has a connection to OCCT and Helvies. My two knives here are both Helvie bladed. So the blades are 100% Helvie, and she does the assembly and designs these really artistic and unique shaped handles. One thing about Stab Rabbit knives is when you get one, you will know that you were the only one with that knife. So right now, Michelle is focused on, like I said, assembly. Lots of exotic woods, dyes. Her belief system is a beautiful knife and a functional knife can be the same. And I got to tell you, she is well on her way. Today it's using OCCT and Helvie, but Mr. Dunkel is a legend knife maker, and I'm sure under his guidance we're going to have a really up-and-coming knife maker as well here with Stab Rabbit knives. Right now you can get a high-quality OCCT or Helvie. She's available on Instagram, so feel free to look up Stab Rabbit knives. I'll drop a link in the description as well, just to make sure everyone can find her if you're interested. So the first knife I have here is the 1.5" Helvie blade. These are dyed maple handles. This one here has such a cool pattern. I really hope I'm doing it justice under the light in here. But this is the one that, there are other pictures of it, is my, I call it my Van Gogh. 1.5" Helvie blade. Just a couple finger knocks there, but it's the Starry Night. So that's what the name of this blade has become, Starry Night. Just simply amazing. And there's always the ever so subtle, hopefully you can see that, the ever so subtle Stab Rabbit there. For those who don't know, Stab Rabbit is porcupine, but yeah, very cool. So each one of these is unique because she hand does them as well, right? Each one has a little Stab Rabbit in it, which I think is a very cool touch. Let's talk about why it's taken me so long. I've had these now for, I think, over a month, but I didn't just want to get the knives, look at them and say, yeah, they're pretty and talk about them, because that was too obvious. They were absolutely pretty. These things are beautiful knives. They're pieces of art in themselves. What I wanted to do was actually put them to use, because my initial thinking, especially with this 1.25", right, which is my dominant knife, is usually a small blade, like my Badger State is tiny. I got that flex jack I use, as well, very tiny blades, and I like that. So it had a lot of finger holes in it, but the one thing that differentiates it, when instead of, this is my OCC, right, is when I'm holding on this, if I'm like putting it in a weird angle in my hand, it's pretty easy, especially with something round, and I'm accustomed to, just a corner for grip, but that corner can be any corner, right? Where this one, you know, is really finger dominant. And I was concerned how high up my finger might be, but that turned out to actually be a feature because I can now hold it back or close depending on what I'm doing from a detail perspective. It handles nice. Like, the handle is actually nice, and the concern I had about rotating it is valid, but what I have figured out how to do really quickly, is how to just readjust my hand, which seems pretty obvious from my initial concern. This one I'm still waiting on a name on, so if you have an idea, drop me a comment, because all these pictures that keep coming back from NASA, that deep space imagery, that's what that looks like to me. So what would I say after a month of using these two knives? But they are both, as you would expect, because of these Helvie blades, they really hold an edge. They stay super, super sharp. The handles are very functional, very unique. Each one is just slightly different. And I like the fact that these are unique pieces of art. So effectively, if you're buying a knife from Stab Rabbit, you're going to get a high quality blade because there's no room for error with her. She's you know, she's not going to even sell her own blades until they meet the standards, you know, of this type of a blade, which is just amazing. So right now, she's got this line on a Helvie. You'll get a Helvie from Michelle faster than you'll get a Helvie from Helvie. So you have the Helvie blade, you know, these pieces of art, like this is artwork. So you've got carving room or carving toolkit jewelry now. So definitely there's an up-and-coming knife maker here, and I highly suggest you stop by and have a look. She does do custom orders, so if you're looking for something pretty specific, but she's not going to replicate something exactly. So if you go on Helvie's website and you see a handle style, you can say, I would like something like that, and you will get something like that. But what you won't get is an exact replica, because that's not what she does. A special shout out to Stab Rabbit Knives. Michelle, thank you very much for the art, functional art, which is just amazing. So these are going to be getting a lot of time. So thank you again.